Hi guys, welcome to another beer review. And before I get into this one, I just tried recording a video for this beer, which is the Irishman in New England IPA, which was brewed for and by the Beer 52 for the Beer 52 Irish box, which is also the same box this beer has come through. But unfortunately, I got a phone call halfway through the review, and yeah, I'm not too fussed because even though I'm subscribed to Beer 52, this box didn't actually come from my account. This was actually gifted to me by Craig, aka Kent Beer Reviews. So you won't be seeing too many of the reviews from this box, mainly because it was gifted to me, and a lot of them are just going to be beers that I could just sit back and enjoy, because I've come to the point where it's like nearly every beer I buy, I feel like pressure to do a beer review on. So I don't think I've really just tried a beer just to drink a beer for quite a while. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's always like, oh, I've got to get a review of this one to get some sort of like extra value out of it. But with stuff that's been going on recently, all good stuff, I should add, it's just made me think, YouTube has taken away the monetization. Do you know what I mean? So I can't exactly make pennies back off the purchase and stuff when I buy a beer and things like that. Plus, I think if you're just, when every beer you're consuming that's new to you is just to get a review out of, I think you start to like just. I always enjoy, if the beer's good, I'll enjoy it anyway. But, I need to just sit back and enjoy beers. Do you know what I mean? For what they are. And so that's why you won't see too many reviews from this box. But you will be seeing some live reviews with myself and Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, who, again, massive thank you to him for sending this to me. And I will be getting next month's box, because I had to put my order on hold, or my service on hold, because yeah, I wasn't working at the time, and it was just hard to justify paying that much money for beers when I couldn't really afford to do that. But at this point forward, there should be no issue with either the McKellar subscription service, which I use, or the Beer 52 series. So you will be seeing that on a bit more of a regular basis. And because this didn't actually come from my account, that's why you didn't really see a dedicated Beer 52 unboxing video. But yeah, I'm going to put all Beer 52's information down below. I've got a referral link if you want to use that. Get yourself a little bit of a discount, give it a try for yourself. And of course, I'm going to put my Beer 52 related playlist down below, because I've had some really good beers from them. And you get a box of beers, and you also get a little book. Well, it's a magazine, and then a nice snack. Which the snack this time was like corn kernels, but they were barbecue flavored, and they were really damn good. I'm gonna have to try and find a wrapper so I can potentially buy some, because they were really, really nice. But yeah, so I was initially bummed out when my review of this, which was a really nice IPA. It was one of those ones where it was nearly finished by the end of the review anyway. But I thought I'd just give that a little bit of a heads up, and that I'd say if I were to review it, I'd give this one an 8 out of 10, because it wasn't like a fundamental like New England hazy IPA. It was, to me, a bit of like a more accessible one, but not like accessible for a casual market, accessible for those people who still aren't really convinced about the New England style. Which is a style that I do enjoy, and I'm happy for that trend to carry on for a couple of years, or whatever trend comes next. I'm happy to see that these hazy IPAs stick around. But yeah, just put that out there. But all the information I would usually put is going to be down below. So today we've got another pale ale, and this is from the Boyne Brewhouse. Apologies if I've not pronounced that correctly. And this is the Irish Craft American Pale Ale, which is coming in a can. Now, it sort of reminds me, for some reason, of the Stone Berlin cans. I have no idea why. I think it's the way the information's laid out on the back with the Stone in general, because you get like a fucking essay on Stone bottles and cans. But yeah, really nice looking artwork. I love the green offset on the black background. And yeah, so this is the American Pale Ale. I've got the information about the beer opened in the magazine, just to give you a bit of a background, because I've not heard of the brewery before. And the great thing about this box is it's given me a little bit more of a, like, an experience with Irish craft beer, which even though I was in Dublin fairly recently, I was all about like the stouts and that sort of thing. Like what's it called? What's like that really famous stuff? It's like Guinness, but it's a bit better than Guinness. But you can't really get it here in England. Oh my god, I forgot what it was called. But yeah, I was drinking a lot of the traditional stuff, and I had a little bit of craft. And one of the breweries that are included in the box, it'd be criminal if they weren't, is of course the White Hag. And I had one of the session IPAs on cask, and that was really, really nice. So yeah, this is a great little insight into, not even the tip of the iceberg of Irish craft beer. But anyway, let's get back onto the review. So the Boyne Brewhouse. Boyne Brewhouse is located at the heart of Boyne Valley in County Meath, with a 3-vessel, 35 hectolitre Caspar Schultz brewhouse as its heart and using traditional brewing methods. Only the finest raw materials and Boyne Valley well water drawn from deep below are used to make unique and interesting craft brews. An impressive total of 25 Irish and international awards since opening its doors in early 2016 backs up the team's total commitment to quality and craft. And the tasting notes for this one are a Boyne American Pale Ale, light and gold colour, with a fluffy white head and a slight hop haze. It has a fruity, tropical and sweet aromas reminiscent of pineapple, mango and passion fruit. The taste is juicy, fruity and medium-bodied and not aggressively bitter. So, yeah, that's the information about this one. There's information on the can, which I'm not going to go into because it's pretty much covered in a little blurb in the magazine. But, yeah, this is 4.5% in a 330ml can. And then the best before date is the January 2018. And I love how cans now have a little piece of text printed on. In beer we trust. So, without any further ado, because I've been waffling on already, let's get this beer opened and see what we get. So I'm using my Beer Varna glass. Lovely little shop in Munich. If you're ever in Bavaria, definitely look those guys up. Yeah, I've talked about German craft beer to great lengths on the channel. In fact, most of my reviews are German because I've spent 7 years there. But we're talking about Ireland today. But look at that. That has got a real nice sense of haziness to it. There's loads of tiny little bits and bobs floating around in there. But it is golden in appearance. Maybe some slight amber hues in there. Some very subtle orange tones. And the beer poured with, let me try and develop a little bit more of a head. It's got about one finger's worth now, anyway, of a very slightly off-white head. It looks a lot whiter on there, and the beer looks a lot darker. You work that one out, camera people, and lighting science guys. Lighting science guys. That's like a proper, corporate marketing over 50s term. Do you know what I mean? That sounded horrible. That was cringy as fuck. I say a lot of cringy stuff in my life, but that was cringy as hell. But, yeah, looks absolutely wonderful. So let's see what we get on the aroma. There is a very subtle citrusy tone in there. Slight mango. It has got that tropical vibe, but not too pronounced. It's got that sort of almost like basil leaf aroma to it. Salad leaves and a little bit grassy. A little bit of a gentle lemony vibe almost. Almost like you've got lemon and sugar at the same time, so it's not too citric or harsh. Crisp golden malt character coming through. Almost has that sort of Pilsner, Hellas lager aroma. Offset with a really nice subtle hoppy tone. It's not the hoppiest of beers, but they're not trying to make out that it is. So I hate when people always they have this one level of hoppiness and they compare every hoppy beer to that. Even though some breweries, believe it or not, they don't really want a hop head's orgasm in a glass. They just want a slightly hoppy, enjoyable drink. It doesn't always have to be about double dry hopped or like cryo hops or lupulin powder. Some people just like to make, they like to tone it down a bit for the beer. And this is doing that nicely. It's a lovely, lovely smelling beer. It's got that sort of like confectionery angle to it as well. Anyway, smells really nice. Let's give it a taste. Slangivar. Was that just Scottish? Oh, I can't remember. Good thing is I've not done an Irish accent, so Paul from Peter Bruno's may still be drier than Mother Teresa's skeleton, but at least I've not offended any potential Irish viewers, which I don't think I get much viewers anyway. Anyway, let's drown our sorrows and drink this beer. Yeah, American Pale Ale, that's exactly what this is. No bells and whistles, just a very solid first quenching beer experience. There will be people who drink this and say, oh, it's a little bit dull. Oh, it's not really doing much for me. It's just like a really nice, slightly upper session strength American style hoppy pale ale. It's just gentle, it's nice and subtle throughout, without being boring. Yeah, it's just got those like classic flavours you expect when you see American Pale Ale. It invokes images of like Stone's regular IPA, Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale, even stuff like the British pioneering sort of American Pale Ale styles like Ghost Ship's Pale Ale. It's got that solid, dependable and reliable and ultimately recognisable flavour profile. And it's been done really, really nicely. It's one of those ones that, and this could be seen as a redundant point because I am doing a beer review, it's one of those ones that you don't really dwell on. Do you know what I mean? You don't really pick apart. You're not trying to, reinvent the wheel or, but it's just, I'd imagine in their lineup, it's one of those solid session strengths where you see it on tap in like a little craft bar. Excuse me. I'm not too sure of like the scope of the Boyne Brewhouse, but it's one of those ones where you're like, I just want a good pale ale. And you see that on tap. You've had it before and you're like, yeah, that's a really good one. And you've got like a pint of that and that's a really nice, I'd love a pint of this. It's a Sunday afternoon, it's a bit lazy. I'm going to be going down to the local Labour Club with the other older gentlemen. I won't tell you what we do there, but it's not pretty. But, it's just simple, laid back. Have a couple of these, and if you're working the next day, I can make working references now because I'm in a job, finally. It's not, you're not going to feel too shit the next day. And you know what? We've got pulled pork left over in the fridge. I'm going to demolish that with a few buns, pulled pork, and a nice beer to go along with it. So, it's nothing exceptional. It's not blowing me away, but I don't think that's what they were trying to go for with this beer. And it just shows you, especially for me who's not really experienced the Irish craft beer scene, although I've heard a hell of a lot of good stuff about it, with like Whiplash and White Hag and other like O'Hara's who are included in this. I've had a good experience with O'Hara's in the past. Yeah, if I was in Ireland again, obviously this time I'd probably be a bit more active trying to find out the craft scene and the craft beer bars. But if I was like with like family and friends who aren't really into craft beer, and I wanted something that wasn't like the classic Guinness, even though I've got no problems with Guinness, I love Guinness on tap. It doesn't matter which version of Guinness, if it's in a pub, extra cold, whatever, I don't care. Just not draft out of cans. Do not like that. I'm happy with that. But if I wanted a nice pale ale, then I'd go for this one probably. It's just that dependableness. Not every beer has to be like a world class. I've never had anything like this before. Sometimes you just want something that's good, reliable, and I can imagine a lot of people within the vicinity of where the brewery's based and their distribution network I can imagine this being a big seller for them and having regular consumers. And that's, that's the great thing. It's not all about hype. It's not all about, bucking the trend. It's not all about being out there and so outrageous. Sometimes you just want to brew a really good beer, and this is it. So in terms of a rating on the American Pale Ale from Boyne Brewhouse, I'm going to give that a very solid 8 out of 10. So if you tried this beer or any of the others from the brewery, then let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Of course, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, then their reviews will be included. Check out the Boyne Brewhouse. I do apologise if I've not pronounced that correctly. Of course, check out Beer 52 and check out my Beer 52 playlist and my Pale Ale playlist. And more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for what should be a more coherent and less opinionated, soapbox style review. Anyway, hope you enjoy your Sunday or whatever day and time you're watching this, and hope you'll join me next time for another beer review. Cheers. I'm not making the mistake. I'm going to do some research because I'm sure it doesn't matter if it's Slangivar. Just turn the camera off, Peter, and just cry.